China is split into 7 warring states, locked in more than 200 years of bloodshed, betrayal, and endless conflict. None have ever come close to unifying the entire realm until the state of Qin rises from the western frontier, a war machine forged by legalist reforms, disciplined armies, and a ruler with a single unshakable goal to conquer all and become the first emperor of a unified China. What you are about to hear is not legend or drama. It is the strict, verified history of Qin's 10-year total war to annihilate the 6 rival states, a campaign that reshaped the course of human civilization forever. This is the full unfiltered breakdown of every battle, every betrayal, every strategic masterstroke, and fatal mistake that led to the fall of Han Jiawei, Chu Yan, and Qi. Let's start with the battlefield before the first sword was drawn. For over a century, Qin had been building its strength not just with swords, but with systems. Shang Yang's reforms created a society where military merit determined rank. Farmers fueled the army with endless grain from the fertile Guanzhong plains and the conquered lands of Shu, and the state controlled every resource for war. By the time Ying Zheng took full control in 238 BCE, purging the court of Lilv Buwei and the Lao Ai faction, Qin was not just a state. It was a centralized, unstoppable war machine. Its rivals were divided, corrupt, and trapped in short-sighted rivalries. Qin's master strategists, Wei Liao and Li Si, crafted a plan so ruthless and precise, it would become a blueprint for conquest. For millennia, befriend the distant states, strike the nearby ones, bribe corrupt nobles to sabotage their own rulers, and destroy the 6 kingdoms one by one, starting with the weakest and moving to the strongest. No alliances, no mercy, no second chances. The first target was Han, the smallest and weakest of the 6, sitting right at Qin's eastern gateway, a choke point for any advance into central China. Han was surrounded by enemies, its army depleted, its court divided. In 230 BCE, Qin General Ni Shiteng led a rapid, overwhelming strike against the Han capital, Xinzheng. There was no major battle, no heroic last stand. Han's king and surrendered within weeks. The first state, fell, Qin, immediately renamed the land Yingchuan Commandery, absorbing its people, its land, and its resources into its war machine. This was not a random attack. It was the first domino. With Han gone, Qin held the central plains, and Zhao and Wei were completely exposed. The Blitz had begun. Next came Zhao, Qin's most dangerous military rival. For decades, Zhao had been a thorn in Qin's side, hardened by King Wuling's Hufu Qish reforms that created a powerful cavalry. Zhao's greatest asset was General Li Mu, a brilliant commander who had defeated Qin armies twice before, holding the northern frontier like an iron wall. Qin knew it could not crush Zhao in a direct fight, not while Li Mu lived. So they turned to the darkest weapon in their arsenal: espionage and bribery. Qin agents flooded the Zhao court with gold, buying off King Qian's favorite minister, Guo Kai, who spread vicious lies that Li Mu was plotting a rebellion. King Qian, weak and paranoid, fell for the trap. He ordered Li Mu's execution. In one stroke, Zhao destroyed its own greatest defender. With Li Mu dead, the legendary Qin general Wang launched a full-scale invasion. In 228 BCE, Qin troops stormed Handan, Zhao's capital. King Qian was captured. A small remnant, led by Prince Jia, fled to die and held out for years, but Zhao as a sovereign state was gone. When Ying Zheng entered Handan, he ordered the execution of every noble who had mistreated him during his childhood as a hostage. This was conquest with a personal grudge, a warning to every state that resisted Qin. The third victim was Wei, tucked between Qin and the Yellow River, with its capital at Daliang, a city protected by thick walls and endless grain stores. Wang Jian's son Wang Ben led the Qin army against Daliang, but the walls held. Direct assault would cost too many lives. So Wang Ben made a brutal, calculated choice. He diverted the waters of the Yellow River and the Huang Canal to flood Daliang. For 3 full months, the city drowned. The walls collapsed, the people starved and perished. In 225 BCE, King Jia of Wei surrendered. Wei was gone. This water attack was one of the most devastating in ancient warfare, a demonstration that Qin would use any tool, even nature itself, to win. Now, Qin turned to Chu, the largest, most populous state, stretching across the Yangtze River basin, a giant that could field hundreds of thousands of soldiers. This would be the hardest fight of the entire campaign. Ying Zheng made a rare mistake. He underestimated Chu. He asked young General Li Shen how many men he needed to conquer Chu. Li Xin, boasted 200,000 Wang Jian. The veteran insisted on 600,000 every soldier Qing could mobilize. Zheng chose Li Xin. The result was a disaster. Li Xin's army was ambushed and crushed by Chu's general, Xiang Yan, grandfather of Xiang Yu. Qin suffered its worst defeat in decades. Zheng swallowed his pride, traveled to Wang Jian's home, and apologized. He gave Wang Jian the full 600,000 men. In 224 BCE, Wang Jian marched into Chu. But he did not attack. He camped his men, fed them well, and waited. For months, the Chu army stood ready, growing restless and short on supplies. When the Chu forces began to retreat, Wang Jian struck with full force. Xiang Yan was killed. The Chu capital, Shuchun, fell in 223 BCE. King Fuchu was captured. The giant was dead. Chu's fall broke the spirit of every remaining state. The fifth state was Yan, a small remote kingdom in the northeast. Yan knew it could not defeat Qin, so it turned to desperation, assassination. In 227 BCE, Crown Prince Dan sent Jing Qi to kill Yingzheng. The attempt failed. Yingzheng was enraged. He ordered an immediate invasion. Wang Jian's army crushed Yan's forces at the Yi River, captured the capital Ji in 226 BCE. King Xi fled to Liaodong. To buy peace, King Ji killed Crown Prince Dan and sent his head to Qin. It did nothing. In 222 BCE, Wang Ben marched north, captured King Xi, and wiped out the last of Yan's forces. The revenge was complete. Finally, only Qi remained, the wealthy, peaceful state in the Far East, isolated from the wars for decades. Qi's king, King Jian, had been bribed by Qin for years, told that Qin would leave him in peace if he stayed neutral. As Qin destroyed one state after another, Qi did nothing. It built no forts, trained no extra soldiers, formed no alliances. When Wang Ben's army marched toward Qi's capital, Linzi, in 221 BCE, there was no battle, no resistance. King Jian surrendered immediately. The last state fell 10 years. 6 kingdoms, 0 defeats for Qin. The warring states period was over. China was unified. This campaign was not just military might. It was perfect strategy: divide and conquer, bribe from within, strike weak points, first use overwhelming force, and never let enemies unite. Qin's victory created the first centralized unified Chinese empire, and Yingzheng renamed himself Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor. The laws, the writing system, the currency, the measurements, all standardized. The roads and canals that tied the empire together were built on the bones of this conquest. But it came at a horrific cost: hundreds of thousands of lives, cities destroyed, cultures suppressed. It was a victory of power over freedom, of unity over division, of a single will over a fractured world. What makes this story so unforgettable is that it was not inevitable. Every state could have resisted, could have allied, could have rejected corruption. But greed, fear, and short-sightedness destroyed them. Qin saw their weaknesses and exploited them without mercy. This is the hard truth of history. Great empires are not built by kindness. They are built by strategy, discipline, and the courage to make ruthless choices when others hesitate. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient China, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more epic history. See you next time.